dadka reer gaarisi guud ahaan countiga horumar buu gaarayo gafanaga waxtar dadka reer gaarisi guud ahaan countiga horumar buu gaarayo gafanaga waxtar geesi cali buno garab kaaga naho marka la soo gashay hambalyada gudo geesi cali buno garab kaaga naho marka la soo gashay hambalyada gudo wagadan goobayo kumi bila bari busha waxa iskale geesi cali buno.
So we have basically got a briefing about the progress of the project, the opportunities which are there, the role the county will play, and we have agreed that as a county we are fully supportive of this project. It will benefit our people, it will open up our county to the rest of the country and to our international borders. And we will play our role, including supporting these agencies and prostators who have the mandate to deliver this project. We will play our role. We have discussed the issues of land, and we have agreed that we are going to provide land for this project, for the corridor, of course on terms which we shall discuss with the National Land Commission and with the relevant agencies, and we are in agreement that we can proceed. We have agreed that we will cooperate by waiving cess for the materials which will be required for the road project. On the part of whoever will be the contractor, we expect the local labor to be sourced, locally, and the other consumables. As a county, we are ready to provide security through the NPR to certain components or areas of the project. So generally, I think we are happy to receive the team and we will work together to deliver this project. And we are proud and happy that we are hosting this project. So with those few remarks now, I'll ask the Chairman Lapsset, who is also the chairman of the team which have come today, to make a few remarks before we give a chance to the others, and for you also to ask your questions, many questions which are always there anyway. So thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Governor, and Your Excellency. We want to thank you most sincerely for the hospitality you have accorded us this morning. And we're very happy, and we wish you and the county government all the best. Following the visit of His Excellency the President of Kenya and the Prime Minister of Ethiopia to Lamu in December, for the Prime Minister of Ethiopia to appreciate what the Kenyan government has done as far as the port of Lamu is concerned, so that they will be able to buy into the original idea whereby Ethiopia can import part of their cargo, particularly for the southern part of Ethiopia, through Lamu. It became necessary for us, and having seen that the first berth at the port of Lamu is almost ready, it's ready. It's only that it requires equipment. The second and third, berth will be ready before October or thereabout this year. So it became necessary for the interagencies that are responsible for implementing the project to come together and carry on the vision of Lapsset. So we got together in our first meeting. We have been in Lamu since Thursday. So we had our first meeting on Friday. We had the tour of the port on Saturday. Yesterday we traveled from Lamu by road to here so that we'll be able to see what is it required. Now, since the berth is ready, how can the cargo be evacuated through Lamu or be sent to the port of Lamu from the hinterland? So we got together and we realized that the road, the Lapsset road from Lamu to Isiolo has not been started because of the funding constraints for the time being. We said, can we look for an option route out and into Lamu? So the government through Kenya has been doing the road from Lamu to Garisen, and then Garisen getting on to Garissa. So this was identified as an alternative route before the road to from Lamu to Isiolo is ready. So this, it was identified as an alternative route, and it became necessary for us as multi-agencies to inspect that alternative route and see how prepared the road will be for evacuation of the cargo. We have set the date of 15th of June as the latest that we need to get the port operationalized. So it should be ready to evacuate the cargo by the 15th of June. And I'll leave that one to the chairman of KPA to expand a little bit. So what is it that we are doing as a implementing agencies of the government? We got together and said, let's look at an option of Ethiopia cargo being cleared from Mombasa. So we have been trying to evaluate how Mombasa can be competitive to take the cargo. So we've been through Kenya Railways, and that's how Kenya Railways came on board as an implementing agency, besides its responsibility of creating the railway line within the port. We're looking at Ethiopia doing a pilot project of Ethiopian cargo being cleared from Mombasa, get on SGR to Nairobi, then go into the MTR from Nairobi to Nanyuki, and then we establish a holding ground, an inland container depot through KRI for the Ethiopian cargo to be cleared from Nairobi. From Nanyuki. So this is a proposal. We are, as multi-agencies plus the other ministries concerned, we are going to sell to the Ethiopian government within next month as an option, so that we see how feasible and how competitive we can be from, comparing to their cargo being cleared from Djibouti or from Massawa. So this is now a joint exercise of the multi-agencies. So here with us, we have KRI, we have the board of Kenya Railways, we have the board of KPA, and we have the board of Kenaha. We also have the board representative of board of Kenya Pipeline, National Land Commission during our meeting. So we were about 8 agencies, which also included the KRI board, the 8 multi-agencies, to see how we can now be able to make use of the amount of money that the government has invested in the port of Lamu, which is alone in the port of Lamu is nearly 30 billion Kenyan shillings that have been spent. So we decided as multi-agencies to now tour the alternative route, which is now coming through Garissa, through Garisen. And we have seen the road, and I think the chair of Kenya will be able to comment a little bit on that. But we decided to pay a courtesy call to the governor of Garissa, because this county is very important to Lapsset. It is the longest route of Lapsset through which it will pass amongst all the 6 counties, about 400 kilometers. So it's important for the county government and the county, population to embrace, the program, because it's development for the county of Garissa. That's what is being brought. The road is being created for the people of Garissa. The power will be brought to the people of Garissa. The pipeline, the water, all those which will be accommodated within the 500 meters width of the corridor. Besides, and this is very important, I would like the people of Garissa to appreciate the role that Lapsset is playing on behalf of the government. We're also looking at the planning of the towns 50 kilometers away from the corridor. So Lapsset will be involved in planning the city or the town of Garissa. Will be planning to all the townships within 50 kilometers either side of the corridor. It will be the responsibility of Lapsset to plan, to know where to put education project, to know where to put the health center, to know where to put a school, to know where you put a township, all that. So we cannot do that without the collaboration of the respective counties. So this is something which you also want the county government to buy into, so that we'll be able to plan the townships along the corridor together. I'm sure the chairman of Kenya will also talk about, where, if you are traveling on the road, where would there be restrooms or petrol stations? How do we settle in those areas? So we are now seeing the port is ready. Now what is now left is for us to get out of the boardroom, to get out now to tell to the, to the government, the county government, on how to progress together and develop the corridor, because the corridor is not being for the government. It's being made for the the citizenry who live along the county and anybody else. That connectivity is what we are looking at. So I want to give an opportunity to the chairman of Kenya to expound a bit on the status of the road and what is it that Kenya is doing to carry the cargo in and out of the port of Lamu. Otherwise, I want to say thank you, and thank you, Governor, for for the reception, and we are willing to work with you because you are major stakeholders in all this. Thank you.
Your Excellency Governor, my colleague chairs, I think it's really a nice pleasure to be here, all of us. As Chairman Lapsset have said, we have set the timeline to operation the port by the mid of June. And taking cue from that, it's important, and we have embraced the whole of government approach to ensure that whatever obstacles and whatever synergy that can be obtained is fully utilized. The corridor, the Lapsset corridor, is an alternative transport and actually economic corridor to the northern corridor that runs from Mombasa through Nairobi, Nakuru, and onwards to Kisumu and Busia. And so this then opens up the northern part of Kenya to increase and to enhance its contribution to Kenyan economic growth. Garissa is very important, as the chairman has said, because approximately 400 kilometers out of the 940 kilometers of the Lapsset corridor to Ethiopia and Sudan is located in Garissa County. In the most immediate term, for the port operations in June, or for starting from June, we utilize the existing corridor. We've already completed the road from Lamu to Garsen, 117 kilometers. Only 15 kilometers are remaining, and that will be completed, ready for use by June. And then the road from Garsen all the way to Garissa in Madogo, and onwards then either using Thika or towards Nuno Modagashi. And so there's just a small stretch between Hola, Turnoff, and Garissa, about 80 kilometers. There's small sections, pockets of sections that are needing improvement. We already have contractors on board, on the ground, and we are realigning the work program to see to it that by June this is fully ready. Besides that, we also appreciate that this is a long stretch, and so we also need to think about the safety and the welfare of our drivers. And so our intention is that at every 100 kilometers maximum, we have a rest place, a more organized rest place that provides all the facilities that will be required. And in this regard, we want to also invite and to work with enterprises because we want to provide the space, provide the facilities, but then we want the businesses to be run by private people. And therefore, in the first part of the implementation between Lamu and Garissa, the government has set aside 17 billion shillings to be able to complete this section within the next 12 months, starting from the month of April this year. And we shall provide rest places at Hindi, that is in Lamu, around Ijara, and again in Garissa. So we'll work with the county government to identify the most suitable spots for these facilities. Other than that, of course, we know that the upper part of the Lapsset corridor, coming from Rokichar all the way to the border with South Sudan, about 338 kilometers, is more than close to 80% complete. And so we can see that really the dream of Lapsset is becoming closer and closer to reality. And so we want to appreciate the assurances that we have received from the county government of Garissa that in terms of support to make the cost affordable, in terms of security, in terms of land issues, and I think this will go a long, long way to make the project reality. And of course, the coordination of Lapsset. We know that we need the land issues for the road, and we have assurances again from our colleagues in Lapsset that these will be made available in good time. We appreciate that very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Omega of the logistics service for both the importers and exporters. And so the first berth will be ready to receive the first vessels from June. But we intend to have a soft launch, and then incrementally we will increase the frequency of calls on that port. And eventually by October we will then have the 3 berths ready, and we can then work fully as an independent port. We are pleased to see the progress that has been made in relation to the evacuation routes. The road will be passable to vehicles carrying both containers and conventional cargo, and therefore we think that this is an opportunity for the importers in Garissa, for the industrialists in Garissa, to focus the route of Garissa to Lamu as their outlet for their exports in this country. Thank you.
And as the chairman has put it, in the interim period before we start evacuating cargo using the Lamu port, we are pursuing the use of Mombasa port. And as he has said, we want to evacuate using SGR to Nairobi. Then we transfer to MGR because the Thika, in other words, Nairobi up to Nanyuki meter gauge railway is operational now. We are using it. So we want to transfer cargo from SGR to MGR, meter gauge railway, and we haul the cargo up to Nanyuki. We have land in Nanyuki where we can do a stacking yard so that we can have cargo held up there before they are loaded in using trucks to Moyale and then into Ethiopia. We think it is going to be feasible and viable because that distance from Mombasa, Nairobi, Nanyuki, Moyale to southern Ethiopia is less in terms of kilometers from Djibouti, Addis Ababa, and southern Ethiopia. So we believe that we can serve southern Ethiopia through Mombasa port. But that is, as I say, is just interim. Once the Lamu port is ready, then of course the cargo will be moved to through Lamu. Secondly, the evacuation of cargo from Lamu will be both by road, by railway, and by the pipeline, depending on what cargo we are evacuating. And therefore, we are also now designing and planning for use of the railway in future to evacuate cargo from the port of Lamu all the way to southern Sudan and then southern Ethiopia. So that's what the railway is doing at the moment.
You are aware that at KRA our role is to facilitate trade across the borders, and this Lapsset is a project that looks at trading with our neighboring countries. It's looking at regional trade, and as KRA we have a very important role to play here. We are looking at a situation where now even people of Garissa will be able to import their goods through port of Lamu, and goods be transferred here directly instead of through Nairobi. We are also facilitating Garissa exports. I know there are mangoes that are grown in this region, the watermelon. You can also access the port directly to export your goods. We have an office already here at Garissa that is operational, and that office is expected to facilitate your trade across the border and through the port of Lamu. So thank you very much. We are looking up to opening this area so that you can also trade directly internationally. Thank you.
Meet the governor. We had a meeting at his team with the regional commissioner in the office. One of the elements that is very crucial in all that we are doing is security. So we've been assured by the regional commissioner the security along the corridor, both either this option we are talking about, or even the Lapsset corridor, which we hope to start constructing the road soon, making it passable. We have been assured of security, so we are happy with that arrangement, because without proper security, without the security, all that we are talking about might not be feasible, might not be doable. So we have been assured by the regional commissioner the security arrangement, for the last, I think, 1 year or so, and we hope, even in the future, the security is guaranteed. So the truck drivers, the people who are using the port, people who are using the corridor, I think that's a good assurance that we have gotten from the regional government. Thank you, Governor. That's all really I wanted to add.